are diving into the Amritgram 2025 Annual Review. Now, this is a project with a pretty huge goal, making rural India future-ready. We're going to break down exactly how they're using tech and clean energy to create a model that, hopefully, can be used everywhere. And that really begs the question, right? What does it actually take to transform a rural village into a community that's not just surviving, but thriving with technology and self-sufficiency? Let's take a look at the data and see what's really going on.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is the project's dashboard. Think of it as their command center. It tracks everything from what's in the solar cold storage and how many patients are visiting the health clinic to milk collection and vegetable sales. This proves it's not just about big ideas. It's about real measurable impact. And this dashboard, well, it's our window into all of it.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with the vision, what a smart village even is. Then we'll get into the high-tech stuff happening on the farm. After that, we'll see how health and education are being transformed, how they're building a real rural economy, and finally, we'll look at how they're planning for the future.
First things first, the term smart village gets thrown around a lot, you know? It can feel like just another buzzword. So what does it actually mean here in the context of Amritgram?
Well, in a nutshell, it's all about empowerment. It means using things like the Internet of Things, a whole network of smart sensors and devices and clean energy, not just because they're cool, but as actual tools to create economic growth and just make life better for everyone.
And where do you start that transformation? Well, the most logical place is on the farm. Agriculture is really the heart of the rural economy, so let's see how tech is planting the seeds for a total revolution there.
So they're tackling this from a bunch of different angles. We're talking about agri-drones for spraying crops super efficiently, solar-powered cold storage, which is a game changer for reducing waste. They're even piloting multi-layered farming that's growing different crops together in layers to really maximize the land. Plus, you've got IoT flow meters for smart irrigation and these things called agri-poles, which are basically support hubs for farmers.
Now check out the scale of this. In this period alone, these drones made 52 flights and covered almost 20 hectares. I mean, that's a massive boost in efficiency for sure. But, and this is really important, it also keeps farmers safe by protecting them from direct contact with all those chemicals.
And here's the next critical piece of the puzzle. Once you've harvested everything, one of the biggest problems is produce going bad. But with solar-powered cold storage, farmers can keep their crops fresh. You can see all the different things they're storing, with beans, ladyfinger, and tomatoes being the most popular. This means farmers can sell when the market price is high, not just when they've picked it. That's huge.
But all this data is one thing. What does it actually mean for a real person? Let's zoom in on the story of a farmer named Yogesh Lodi. This quote here shows how a custom plan for his small, 1-acre farm created a model for something incredibly valuable, year-round organic produce.
And here are the cold, hard numbers to back that up. His costs were about 72,000 rupees, but his revenue, over 150,000. That's a profit of more than 78,000 rupees. This isn't just theory. This is a life-changing amount of money for a farming family, and it proves that this model really, truly works.
So, a healthy economy is great, but what about the health of the community itself? A future-ready village needs more than just profitable farms. It needs healthy, educated people. Let's see how that's playing out.
Okay, inside the local school, this interactive whiteboard is a total game changer. Get this, in just 2 months, it was used for over 64 hours, and almost 38 of those hours were spent teaching math. So this isn't some fancy gadget just sitting in a corner. It's a tool that's actively being used to transform teaching for the next generation.
Now let's talk healthcare. The story here is pretty amazing, and it's best told in 3 quick, powerful numbers. First up, 1,012. That's how many patients were served by the local electronic health clinic. Over 1,000 people got access to quality medical care without ever having to leave their village.
Second number, nearly 500,000 rupees. That's how much money the community saved in total. Money that would have been spent on travel to city hospitals and expensive fees. That's cash that now stays right there, strengthening the local economy. And the third number is just, wow, over 6,000. That's how many hours of travel time were saved. I mean, think about that. 6,060 hours that people got back to spend with their families, on their farms, or building their businesses, instead of stuck on a bus. That's a massive improvement in quality of life. So we've seen the impact on farms and on community services. But how do you scale that up? How do you build a sustainable economy for the whole village? The Dairy Initiative is a fantastic case study for this.
But it definitely wasn't easy.
they ran into a really serious problem. During quality checks, they found that some of the milk supply had been mixed with salt and even detergent. This was the kind of thing that could have completely destroyed the whole initiative.
So what did they do? Did they give up? Nope. They got systematic. They figured out where the problem was coming from, they set up strict new procedures, started testing every single batch, and made sure their product met professional, business-to-business standards.
And the result of all that hard work? Over 2.6 million rupees in milk sales. By tackling that quality problem head-on, they built a successful business and made sure that the honest farmers got a better, more reliable price for their high-quality milk.
You know, this whole idea of facing challenges and not backing down is a real theme here. The project's credibility isn't just built on its wins, but on how it deals with setbacks and actually uses them to grow stronger.
Here are a couple more examples. When unexpected floods caused serious waterlogging, they didn't just put a Band-Aid on it. They brought in architects to completely redesign the land leveling for a permanent fix. And when some local disputes popped up over land leases, the foundation stayed neutral, focusing on keeping the community together. That shows a really mature, long-term vision.
And that kind of resilience? Well, it's attracting some pretty serious partners for the future. They're getting ready to scale up by working with HCL's corporate responsibility arm, bringing in top-notch technical experts from the Indian Institute of Management in Nagpur, and even collaborating with the Art of Living Foundation to expand their natural farming model.
So what does this all tell us? The data shows a truly incredible transformation in just one community. And that leaves us with a really powerful, lingering question. If one village can become a blueprint for the future in just a single year, what does that mean for the rest of rural India? What's possible?